everybody. So this is our second year keeping meat turkeys. We have broad-breasted white turkeys. We got them at Tractor Supply. I felt like this year we sort of couldn't be picky. We did recently get heritage turkeys, so we're hoping to not have to do this kind of turkey next year, but it's what we were able to get, so that's what we have for now. So last year we did the turkeys kind of like 100 or so feet outside the front door. We started them there again this year, and the flies were just getting like way out of control. Like no amount of fly traps or the stinky little fish things or whatever were keeping the flies away. So we decided to move the turkeys down here into the woods. So I'll have Zad talk to you about the structure that he built and all of that. But so far they seem to really be loving it. We have a hydrant down here, so we can put the hose on there. We don't have to haul water and all of that because we're not into like toting water around. And yeah, we can just fill their feed and then they can just forage. And so it's been going really well, and the flies seem to have decreased at the house, so goal number 1 met. And I'll have Zad talk to you about the structure that he made.
So we needed something for the meat chickens and meat turkeys to roost, something that was pretty simple, not a lot of time to build, not a lot of cutting, but could also fold up, that we could get it into the woods because the path is a little tight, but also be able to have it light enough that we can move it. I did move it with the tractor by myself and put it up by myself. A little cumbersome, but I was able to do it. So all it is 16 2x4s with 3-inch screws screwed into it, and then 6 carriage bolts that hold it together. So I only cut 2 boards out of everything, and that was for the support that goes across to keep the legs from spreading out. Those are carriage bolted on either side and then up at the top, and they're about 1 foot spacing between the rungs. And then their feed can hang off of the one side. We have a metal roof to keep the rain and water out of it, and the idea is that they can roost on that, and then if we need to, we can move it. 2 of them roosted on it last night. All the rest of them decided that log was a better option. So don't be surprised if you make something and they decide they don't like it as much as you like it.
So this is the Premier 1 fencing that we've talked about before. We love this fencing. We've shown it on Facebook and Instagram for our chickens and our goats, and we love this stuff. It's inexpensive and it's great if you're going to be moving pastures, or if you just don't have a type of property where you can put up a bunch of permanent fencing. Like we only have 3 acres, so we really like to be able to move our fencing around. So when we started this, it unfortunately came up a little further than we had planned. So we're going to work on moving this fencing a little bit further down, so that, because this just kind of obstructs with mowing and where the kids play and things like that. And then for all of our electric fences except the goat fence, we love these little solar packs. So we have 2 or 3 of these, I think. And then we have a couple that are just fully electric. So we love those little solar packs. They really don't need like a ton. Like as you can see, like it's kind of shaded this time of day. And it still gets plenty. And so far, knock on wood, we have had no issues with predators with this fencing, and we've used it for the meat turkeys, for our egg layers, for meat chickens. The meat chickens are going to be joining the meat turkeys in here as soon as they're big enough, because they'll be on the same feed. We're going to put them on like a 21% once they get past right now they're on a 28%. So these turkeys are obviously past that stage. We've moved them off of starter and have switched them to just the fast grow at the 21%. So we're going to put all the meat chickens in here with them. They're only going to be here for another 5-6 weeks or so, and then the turkeys are here until September, October. We'll kind of just see how big they get, but we love raising turkeys. If you've not raised turkeys before, they have so much personality. A lot of people say that they're really hard to raise as poults to start. We have not had any trouble raising them from poults. So yeah, we definitely encourage you to add turkeys to your homestead. And they really don't need a ton of space, and you only have them for like 6 months or so. So as I mentioned, we have our turkeys on 21% fast grow now. They were on the 28% for a few weeks. 6 weeks, I guess. And then we switched them to the fast growth. So in an ideal world, I would make my own turkey feed and it wouldn't have corn and soy and all that crap in it. For now, we're supporting our local feed mill and they have decent prices on feed still. I mean, of course, it's like 40 or 50% more than it was last year, but it's still not a bad price. So for now, this is what we're doing. Sometimes I have to be a realist instead of an idealist. So if you make your own turkey feed or chicken feed, let me know in the comments, because I am definitely looking at recipes. I've looked at a few and I know it's like not that hard. I just need to gather up the ingredients and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just not sure if I have the bandwidth to add making feed to my list. So eventually we'll get there. But yeah, if you make your own feed, I'm curious like what you use and how long does it last? Do you feel like it's cheaper? Are you doing it just because it's better ingredients but it's not cheaper? So we moved the fence, we extended it back here a little bit. They'll have some ferns and things to play through. As you can see, it's much tighter now. So you have these white poles that have these clips. So that's what we use to keep them like where it will sag sometimes in the middle. So we buy the fencing right from Premier One, and then the poles and the clips, you can get them from them, I'm pretty sure, but we usually get them from our local little hardware store down the road. They have the clips that we really like. When you put your fence up, you know, sometimes it'll stay like tight like this, but sometimes you need to put these extra support poles in and these clips. So like Zad's putting one in over here, and you just kind of hook the fence around the clip and then it stays, you know, it looks nice. These are the 4-foot poles, right?
5 foot. This is
5 foot.
This is why you need it, why you're using these.
Yeah, because you have
because
sagging.
of the sag, you need to get it that your hot line's not touching the ground. So with it like this, your hot line, the part that's actually zapping and keeping predators out or keeping your stock in, is on the ground, and it weakens your the shock amount. So we need to get it up off. So I'll just take it and lace it through.
And we've noticed, so yeah, he laces it through. That seems to keep it a little nicer. And we've noticed that like, you don't have to keep the bottom like perfectly clear, but you can't, you know, like these ferns, like we had to weed eat these ferns. We couldn't just like plop it on top of the ferns, or like Zad said, it would really weaken the energizer and, you know, not do its job.
I don't care for as much versus these. As you can see here, this one can stick out. You know, you can get poked on it, get your clothing caught on it. It's a little hard to untangle the fence from it. So I like these more personally. I like them better. You just got to squeeze them. They're a little harder to get on, but I feel like they stay on the fence a little better. And then you just drop your fence line into that there. And then you got to make sure that this isn't too high, because if this is too high, it'll raise your ground off, and that's where your predators can slip in and under. So you need to make sure you lower that down, that it's not too high.
This is our meat turkey structure that we'll have here until September, October. If you have any questions about building this super simple teepee type structure, let us know. Yeah, and I hope that you enjoy raising meat turkeys as much as we have. They've been super fun and super tasty.